Onto the story now. Millions of animals in this country are without a home and are considered strays. This is based on last year's State of Pet Homelessness Index compiled by pet food maker Mars Petcare. The Wet Nose Animal Rescue Centre is advocating for the rights of animals and is encouraging people to adopt a pet. The facility houses 40 to 70 animals each month, and it does not receive any government funding and survives on donations and sponsorships. For more on all that they do, shelter manager Veronica van Greunen now joins us virtually. Veronica, thank you very much for your time this evening to shine the spotlight on Wet Nose and everything that you do there. Just tell us about Wet Nose and what exactly it does.
Okay, so thank you very much. Wet Nose is the Right to Life animal shelter, and we basically rescue animals from various conditions, animals that has been abused, neglected, injured, and we collect these animals. We've got 2 qualified inspectors at Wet Nose. We bring them through to the shelter, then we rehabilitate them, and then we rehome them after rehabilitation.
And Veronica, is this specific to cats and dogs, or do you house various animals? And also, where do these animals usually come from?
So we're not just a normal dog and cat shelter, because we have 2 qualified inspectors in terms of the Animal Protection Act that we can enforce. We are fortunate enough with the properties that we have that we also have farm animals that's rescued. We have horses, we've got donkeys, and then we've got obviously the dogs and the cat section, which your dogs would be your biggest influx in animals that we have, and then horses would be second and cats then after that. And like I said, these animals comes from various conditions. Some of them have been rescued recently. We did a rescue about a year ago. That's one of the photos that's on the screen now. And he was one of 200 dogs that we rescued from another shelter that fall under hard times, and the animals in the end suffered. And we get out complaints by people coming in, calling us, saying, listen, there's animal abuse going on, or they're concerned. We have calls of people saying that there's animals in need in various towns or injured next to the road. And then we also do proactive work where we go into communities that's that doesn't have funding and that they are struggling to look after themselves, that needs assistance, and then we go out and we help them with education and by taking their animals if the need does arise.
Veronica, let's chat about Wet Nose's day-to-day running expenses. I was surprised to hear that Wet Nose runs completely off of sponsorships and people donating their time and their money. It must be extremely challenging. Just talk to us and try to paint a picture for us of what the day-to-day running expenses and costs are at Wet Nose.
Okay, so what people forget sometimes is we do have a kennel sponsorship program where people can donate towards the care of an animal in kennels or in the cattery or in our farmyard. So basically a day-to-day running is we have about 40 people working permanently at Wet Nose to look after these animals. And one have to remember, we also provide services to the public to generate an income, and that is by our veterinary clinic, our pet shop, our tuck shop, and little small departments that we do, like boarding in our kennels, we do boarding in our cattery, and we've got stabling at our equine center. But the cost would be the food that we have to buy, for instance, for these animals. We do not get our food sponsored. We are fortunate enough to have some food sponsored for our horses from Meadows and Royal Rider, who donates a small portion of the food that we use for the equine center. But the rest of that and the dog food and the cat food we have to buy in, unless there's people coming to visit us and that brings a bag of dog food or a blanket or cat food or whatever the need might be. But the rest of that we buy. And just to give you a quick example is that we use about 160 kilograms just in adult dog food per day. And we have 347, I think 347 dogs currently in our care. And then we've got about 75 cats. So that cost, and then the cost that you forget is obviously our staff needs to get paid because they need to exercise these dogs. Our dogs are not just staying in a kennel. They get exercise daily. We have exercise runs that we put up for our dogs where they get to play and just be a dog So the kennels are basically just there so that they can eat and sleep comfortable at night and safely. And then we've got our normal water and electricity, our
Of
fuel for
course.
our inspector department to go out to rescue these animals, and the medical expenses that is astronomical, because taking in a dog we do a health check, we do vaccinations, we do deworming. If it's puppies, we test them for parvo, and we make sure they're fully vaccinated, they get sterilized before they get adopted, and they get microchipped. So all of these costs all add up. So our running cost currently a month, I think the last figure we took out was about 600,000 rand a month. That's give or take.
Sure.
And when we say that's not that much, but it is a much. If you look at our food just for the dogs, cost us about between 60, I think it's 62,000 rand a month that we have to buy in, and that's just adult dog food. That's not puppies, that's not cats or kittens, or the rest of the shelter animals that we have in our care.
That is a lot of money. I also just wanted to talk about the fact that Wet Nose is a right-to-life animal shelter. I saw a stat that said something like 500,000 animals are put down annually in South Africa. I'm not so sure how accurate that stat is, but that is a lot of animals that are put down every single year. Why is it so important to preserve life for Wet Nose?
So we understand there is shelters that unfortunately cannot look after so many animals. I, for one, know that it takes extremely a lot of hard work and dedication. And we sometimes have to say no because we do not have the space, although we don't want to say no. So to preserve life is that we cannot play God. If we have the option to be able to help these animals, and that is where the rehabilitation comes, and we rescue them as the inspectors, then when we do the rehabilitation, that is the medical care that we can give. So being right to life it costs us a lot of money, but it helps us then to make sure that that animal has a second chance in life. We try and give that to them. So we make sure that if an animal is in need of medical attention or veterinary care, we provide that to them. In the event that the quality of life of the animal is affected negatively, and there's really nothing we can do in our power to save that animal, we will make the call and say, you know what, we will put this animal down because we won't let this animal suffer any longer. But that animal will go with love and lots of dignity. It won't just die. Okay. But if we can save them, we will definitely save them. And that is our mission and vision, is to make sure these animals have a second chance with us. And that's why we have so many animals. And that's why we request people to, if you cannot donate, adopt. If you cannot adopt, share our stories, follow us on social media. We've got a lot of social media.
And that was going to be my next and final question. If someone's watching and they want to adopt, or if someone's watching and they don't have the capacity to adopt, but they want to spend some time, come through and support and be around the dogs, feed them, are they able to do that? Just talk to us quickly about the various options. How can people assist? How can people step in?
Okay, so like you just mentioned, is just besides adoption or sponsorships that they can do a monthly contribution where we deduct through a very safe portal money from you that you can afford from as little as 50 Rand a month. And you can decide, listen, I want to sponsor a dog, cat, or horse, or farm animal, and we give you updates on these specific animals. And that helps us then to make sure that these animals are fed and cared for properly. And then we have the volunteer programs where any volunteers are welcome. We also do community groups where a lot of schools these days have community projects, and we welcome and we open to schools visiting us. We do a lot of education with these kids. They come out and they can do the community service. If you're a group of people just at your house that wants to come out for a day, we do parties that people can come and do. You also get time to interact with the animals then. And volunteering at Wet Nose is free of charge. We do not charge anything to do that because you're helping us with your time, helping to care for our animals. So you can come spend time with the animals, walk them, cuddle the cats, or just help with the stable yard. If you want to get down and dirty and clean kennels or stables, you're also more than welcome to do that. And then, like I said, adoptions, donations, spreading the word, and just follow us on social media and make sure that all our videos gets out there, because then people can see our animals and they can come and adopt an animal.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Veronica, for your time. That was my whole purpose for wanting to chat to you tonight, to be able to spread the word and raise some awareness. But continue doing the amazing work that you guys are doing. We love to see it. That is Veronica van Greunen from the Wet Nose Animal Rescue Centre.